Yeah. This is your boy Jermz from Jermz Boxing. What up, man? How you guys doing? This is just another beautiful day in a beautiful West Coast Cali. You know what I mean? So, upcoming fight right now. I'm gonna talk about Antonio Tarver versus Nagy Aguilera. I think it's Nagy Aguilera. I think he's Puerto Rican, Cuban. I don't know what he is, but he's got a Mexican last name. He don't look Latino, but he might be one of those. But anyways, this is going to be Antonio Tarver's debut with the heavyweight division. So, what do I think about that? I think it's fucking brilliant ass idea. You know, I mean, when I saw him go up, when I first heard him do the Rocky movie, you know, years ago, I was like, isn't he a little small to be a heavyweight? But then I thought about it. Wait a minute, he is kind of tall, you know. So, you know, back in the day, the old heavyweights were, you know, the weight limit was like what, 180, 175, 180, 185, you know. So, you know, it's always been at that, you know, around that area, you know, before cruiserweight and light heavyweight came around. So, I think he can pull it out. He'll be one of those small heavyweights, you know. But I really think he can pull it off because if you actually calculate his brilliance with the actual shit that's going on right now, I think he can make some noise. I really do think that Antonio Tarver has what it takes. A whole lot more noise than hold on, baby. A whole lot more noise than what's his name? Tomas Adamic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he can do a lot more because we see Tomas Adamic just, you know, he struggles a lot, you know, with guys that he's not supposed to fight. I mean, struggle with guys he's supposed to have an easier time with, like a Ruiz. When I first heard him jump onto the heavyweight division, Adamic, I was like, all right, cool. As long as we probably see the Adamic from the cruisers go up and, you know, do what he got to do. But he struggled with, what's his name? We didn't struggle much with Galata, but I was like, well, it's kind of a joke fight for me, you know, Galata and him. It was like, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. And then to give him to Ruiz, and it was like, okay, all right, whatever. And then to give him to France, I was like, oh god, what's next? Riddick Bowe, you know what I mean? And I hear that they're trying to get some other old dude back in the ring with him. I forgot who it is, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I guess he doesn't really want to take it serious, you know, just beating up a lot of old nobodies and shit. I guess that's what serves him right, whatever, you know. But anyways, I think Antonio Tarver has the power to put big dudes away, because, you know, Antonio Tarver, to me, he reminds me of like a sloth, like, you know, like a fighting sloth. He kind of like, you know, kind of like, he's very patient, he's kind of slippery, and then boom, here comes that left cross or that left hook, you know what I mean? So he's really, he can be really potent with his punch. Ask Roy Jones Jr., you know, ask Glenn Johnson, ask people who actually felt his power, you know, like, damn, man, that guy can ice you. So if he can carry that power up, you know, I think he can. He's got the speed to carry that power in the heavyweight division. You know, he really does. You know, I really see him. I can see him out slick Chris Arreola, get that punch in. I can see him outbox even David Tua right now. I can see him. You know, I can see Antonio Tarver really do some damage in the heavyweight division because, you know, when I first, you know, that Rocky movie, going back to that Rocky movie. When I first heard that Antonio Tarver was going to gain weight to go to the heavyweight division, that's when the first time I thought about, you know what, that wouldn't be a bad idea, Antonio Tarver going into the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be a bad idea because he's got the height and he can fill in that, you know, if he puts in a lot of muscle. Because when I did see him go back down to fight Bernard Hopkins, you know, he went back down, you know, from making the movie to his athlete shape. He looked drained like a mummy, you know, with Antonio against Bernard Hopkins, you know. So if an old man makes you look older than he is, it's like, damn, man, you got to step it up, you know. Obviously the speed's not there, but I feel that Antonio Tarver still has the heart and he still has what it takes to become world class, you know. And he's still young, you know. He's still young. He's not old or anything, you know. Antonio Tarver, you know, he doesn't have that many fights, you know, like what, around 20 something, I think. For someone who's as popular as he is and who's as much as shit that he's been through, you'd think that he'd be a 30-something fighter. He might be. I forget. You know, I don't. Like I said, I don't look all this shit up before I do. I just, you know, it's in my head. I push record and I start talking. You know, I don't get facts, you know, written down or anything. I don't get any of that. So everything's all at the top of my head. All my videos. You know. unless I'm doing a prediction for somebody with a big name who's gonna fight somebody else like Nagy Aguilera. Okay, you know, I don't really know much of him. All I know is that I see him fight Oleg Muskaev and Sam Peter. He fought Oleg Muskaev and knocked him out like in 1 minute, you know. But Oleg Muskaev was he was just a walking bag of bones. He was already he was already stiff. He was knocked out before he even went into the ring. I knocked out in Sacramento in front of his people. You know what I mean? He's from Kazakhstan, migrated to Sacramento, got iced in 1 freaking minute. Somehow the WBC ranked Nagy now after that, you know, for beating up a ex-champion. So they put him up against Sam Peter. Sam Peter completely killed him. You know, he killed Aguilera, you know. So Peter killing him, you know, obviously puts him and Aguilera in the place that he's supposed to be. It's just a stepping stone, you know. So he's a stepping stone. He's supposed to do his part against Antonio Tarver. Now, if Antonio Tarver that I know shows up against Aguilera, now Aguilera's he's alright. You know, I couldn't pick up much from the Muskaev fight because he just rushed him. You know what I mean? He landed a punch, rushed him, knocked him out. And then against Peter, he didn't do nothing. So there's nothing I can really tell you about Aguilera. All I know is that he can be knocked out and he can get wild. You know what I'm saying? If you get him excited. So Tarver is going to have to do what he does best. Be a little boring at first. Boom, slothish little jab. You know, he always plays possum, always acts like he's tired, but he's not. You know, that's just his style, you know. And I can see Aguilera trying to, like, you know, he probably is gonna realize that maybe I can hit this guy, you know, maybe, you know, I can reach Antonio Tarver, and if I'm right, Aguilera's inexperience is gonna make him reach a lot because, you know, Antonio Tarver likes to lean back a lot, you know, so he's gonna reach, and I see Tarver landing an uppercut while that dude's leaning in, because a big dude obviously is gonna be a lot slower than Tarver. Tarver's gonna be back. To me, this reminds me of a young Tarver. You know, when Tarver first crashed into the heavyweight division, when he was just long, lanky, good. He talked good attitude, good power. You know what I'm saying? And then the Roy Jones thing, he knocked him out. He what's it called? He lost to Johnson, but he got him in the rematch in one of the best light heavyweight fights I've ever seen. And well, the first one being. And what else? Then he gets outboxed by Hopkins, and pretty much beats the crap out of Woods. And then Chad Dawson, you know, he had a scuffles in with Chad Dawson, did a lot better in the rematch. So you can see he's still a student, you know, Tarver. And that's what it reminds me of, like a young Tarver is crashing into the heavyweight division. A young guy, new guy, good smile, good people, good following, you know, trying to be the next American. You know, to tell you the truth, I can see him knock out one of the Klitschko's. I can't. He can't. It can't happen. You know what I'm saying? He has the boxing ability to even try to knock out one of the Klitschko's. If he tries to knock out one of the Klitschko's, I would say he would probably have a better chance of knocking out Vladimir. Only because I'm trying to use that Corey Sanders mold, you know, from that straight left hand, because obviously when I saw Vladimir take those punches, he couldn't really see that straight left hand. Like he can't see that punch, and it has been a while since he's fought in a good southpaw with a straight left that can murder you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if Antonio Tarver plays his cards good and makes the weight properly, he can really do something. He can really make some noise. But don't get me wrong, I don't think he'll ever knock out any of the Klitschko's. He can, but obviously Klitschko's will batter the crap out of him. You know, they'll do what Hopkins did. You know, just, you know, jab, hug, jab, hug. You know, and cross here and there, cross, knocking him. I can see Tarver getting bullied and shit, but he does have the ability to knock anybody out in the heavyweight division just because of that one left hand and because of the speed. Him going up is going to automatically make Tarver a little heavier. I mean, it's faster, and he's going to have a lot more muscle. So we might even see the best version of Antonio Tarver that we've ever seen. Who knows? You know what I mean? I can totally see that. And you know what? HBO should do him a favor and start airing airing that one fight, the Rocky fight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think Tarver can really do something. You know, if anybody can come up in weight, and try to rule the fucking heavyweight division, it wouldn't be Hopkins like he says. I think Tarver can really do it, American-wise. You know what I mean? American-wise. I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying he's probably the best out of the Americans that can really do some serious damage. What else? Yeah, that's about it. And on another note, Roy Jones Jr. is gonna fight Danny Santiago. Yep, that big old reject from the Contender. And the Contender, I think it was 2 or 3. He actually was kicked out for being too fat, for being overweight. And it reminds me of the old Roy Jones when he used to pick and pull his opponents, you know, so he can look good against. And yeah, he's gonna spank around Santiago just the same way. Who spanked him around last time? I think was it Tarver? Or I think it was, I forgot. Somebody spanked the crap out of him. Everybody spanks the crap out of him. He's really slow. He's just no power, just slow. He's just a walking punching bag. You know what I mean? So I think Roy Jones has to knock him out in 2 rounds. Has to. If he's gonna do anything. If he goes the distance with that dude, that's it for Roy Jones. You know what I mean? Because who goes the distance with Santiago? Who can get hit? You know, Santiago. You know, and if man, Roy Jones should have went up in heavyweight for a long time ago and just stayed there. He could have done some shit, but anyways, Tarver, you better do this shit. Impress the shit out of everybody. Knock out Aguilera in 2-3 rounds, and that's it. But you better make it a good knockout reel, maybe a knockout of the year type of shit, because you got that speed, you got that power, you can. And you're left-handed, you know, I keep forgetting about that. You're lefty. How many, damn, you'll be the next big lefty thing since Chris Bird. But anyways, that's my thing. Yeah, subscribe, do whatever you gotta do. You want to look at the other predictions, do that too. This is Jermz. Arrivederci, barabum barabing, al rato, vato, whatever. As you can see, I'm not on all my 5, if you know what I mean. Alright, take care. Peace.